Hey, this is Bridget.
Hi, this is Annie.
And you're listening to Stuff Mom Never Told You.
And today, we're talking about one of my favorite things, horror movies.
I can already see on your face how excited you are to talk about horror movies.
I am so excited. I am a grown woman who probably 3 times a week stays up too late watching horror movies.
You would think that's a bit unusual, but actually it seems like a lot of women are watching a lot of horror movies these days.
Yes, Americans have been watching horror movies for decades, but in the last year, in 2017, horror films have had particularly big numbers thanks to movies like It or Get Out. And if you take any given horror movie in the U.S., statistics show that women purchased more tickets to it than men, which might surprise you.
It is surprising.
Yeah. But that doesn't include torture porn movies like Saw. That is a quick note. Do you like horror movies, Bridget?
I like horror movies. Well, first of all, I like all movies. You'd be hard.
Horror movies.
I can already see on your face how excited you are to talk about horror movies.
I am so excited. I am a grown woman who probably 3 times a week stays up too late watching horror movies.
You would think that's a bit unusual, but actually it seems like a lot of women are watching a lot of horror movies these days.
Yes, Americans have been watching horror movies for decades, but in the last year, in 2017, horror films have had particularly big numbers thanks to movies like It or Get Out. And if you take any given horror movie in the U.S., statistics show that women purchased more tickets to it than men, which might surprise you.
It is surprising.
Yeah. But that doesn't include torture porn movies like Saw. That is a quick note. Do you like horror movies, Bridget?
I like horror movies. Well, first of all, I like all movies. You'd be hard-pressed to find a movie that I don't like. I'm the person that, when you see commercials on TV for big-budget popcorn movies and you think, who would go see that? I'm like the middle America person that's like, ooh, that looks good. I'm just happy to be at the movies. When I go to the movies, I'm like, I get my Twizzlers and my Coke, and I'm just happy to be there. So I like movies in general, but I also love bad horror movies, kind of a thing that I enjoy watching.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Can we have a Sminty horror movie night?
Yes, please.
Movie night, but
horror movie meetup?
Yes. Ooh. There are some that I would love to live stream on here. maybe we can pull that together. And one reason I found for why women might be seeing horror movies more than men is that women kind of have this low-level fear that they're just living with more than men.
Are you saying that being a woman is a little bit stressful sometimes, Annie?
I'm saying it could be, possibly, maybe a little stressful, Bridget. And horror movies are a great way, or at least in my experience, not everyone agrees with me, but for people who enjoy them, and they're a good way to relieve stress in a way that you can't in your real life. It's a fear that you choose, and therefore you can control. And I remember an argument for why people like zombie movies so much, zombie things, and it's because it reduces the stresses of your life to this one terrible thing, but it does simplify things. You got to survive the zombies. Done, hopefully. And to quote journalist Brianna Wu, horror movies are a world where money can't save you, privilege can't save you, strength can't save you. So they're kind of, in a perfect world, they're kind of equalizing in that way.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's sort of this fantasy world where we're all on a same playing field. Even though, one of the tropes in horror movies is like, oh, the black person dies first.
Yeah.
Or, and I think that it's important to recognize the way that tropes play out in movies like this because, a lot of people might be saying, horror movies, this is dumb. Why is this a thing we're talking about? But actually, when you look at what we recognize as tropes in these kinds of movies, they can tell us a lot about culture and society and, what we think about women.
Oh, absolutely. Horror movies, I think, and I am a fan, but I think they say a lot about society in general. And even though we're seeing these movies, but when it comes to behind the scenes, if you look at director, writer, producer roles, so on, women are very poorly represented. They're more likely to work in documentary or drama genres. That's a fun tongue twister. And least likely to work in action or horror genres. They accounted for only 12% of those working on horror, according to a 2017 study out of San Diego State University. The film industry in general, off-screen and on-screen, is dominated by men. On-screen, these films are chock full of stereotypes and portrayals of women that are disparaging and negative. And historically, a lot of messaging and tropes, like you were saying, they don't do women any favors. And one of the most prevalent, the topic of today's episode, is the trope of the final girl.
So I can't wait to find out more about what exactly this trope is after this quick break. I am a gal on the go, and that's why I love Lola.